Chapter 15. The Algorithm's Whisper. The initial success, though carefully masked, was a ripple in the vast ocean of online betting. Small, almost imperceptible to the human eye, but a distinct anomaly to the watchful algorithms. He knew they were there, lurking in the digital depths, designed to identify and neutralize threats. Like him, they were the bookmaker's silent guardians, cold logic against his colder calculation. His script, refined by Rami, hummed quietly on a dedicated server. It was a digital bloodhound, sniffing out the weakest links in the chain of mirror sites. It didn't just ping for availability. It analyzed response times, compared live odds across different domains, and flagged discrepancies that hinted at manual intervention or delayed updates. These were the whispers of the algorithms, tiny telltale signs that the system was momentarily vulnerable. One evening, the script lit up. A cluster of 3 seemingly unrelated Asian sports betting sites, all operating under different names and jurisdictions, showed a peculiar pattern. The odds for a minor league basketball game in the Philippines were fluctuating wildly on one site, while remaining stubbornly static on the others. This wasn't a typical market correction. It was a human error, a finger on a keyboard, a moment of indecision. "They're trying to manipulate the line manually," he murmured to Rami, who was hunched over his own screen in their small, shared workspace, a cramped room in the basement of an old internet cafe, rented under one of his many aliases. "Someone is panicking." Rami, younger, with eyes that still held the naive glow of a true hacker, nodded, his fingers flying across the keyboard. "The API on the first site is slow. It's not syncing with the front end fast enough. We can exploit the lag." This was their dance. The old man, the strategist, seeing the human weakness behind the code. Rami, the technician, translating that weakness into actionable commands. They were two halves of a perfectly honed weapon. "Prepare the accounts," he instructed, his voice low, almost a whisper. "Salim, Handan, and a new one, Phoenix. Small, staggered bets. Let them think it's just a surge of naive gamblers." The plan was simple yet elegant. They would place small bets on the static odds, just enough to trigger a slight shift, then wait. When the bookmaker's manual intervention inevitably overcorrected, creating an even larger discrepancy, they would unleash Phoenix, a high-volume, high-value bet designed to exploit the maximum possible margin before the system could catch up and resynchronize. The basketball game was a blur of digital numbers. Points scored, fouls called, timeouts taken. Each event was a heartbeat in the system, and with each heartbeat the odds shifted or should have. But on the target site, the line remained stubbornly high on their chosen outcome. A phantom limb of the true market. He watched the clock. The lag was holding. Rami's fingers danced, sending the commands. The small bets went through, registering as minor fluctuations. Then the moment came. The bookmaker, in a desperate attempt to stabilize the line, pushed it even higher, creating a gaping chasm between their odds and the reality of the game. "Now, Phoenix," he commanded, his voice devoid of emotion. A flurry of encrypted data packets shot across the internet. The large bet landed, locking in the inflated odds. A second later, the site blinked, the odds snapped back to normal, and the glitch point vanished. But it was too late. The bet was placed. The game ended. Their chosen team won. The payout was substantial, nearly $15,000. Wasn't the million yet, but it was a significant step, a clear message sent into the digital ether. "They felt that," Rami said, a grin spreading across his face. "Someone just had a very bad night." He simply nodded, his gaze distant. He wasn't thinking about the money. He was thinking about the whisper. The algorithm had spoken, and he had understood its language. It was a language of vulnerability, and he was fluent.